Hello students, welcome to Science Sir. First, today we are going to start chapter 13, Why Do We Fall Ill? In this chapter, we are going to study about health, diseases, type of diseases, communicable diseases, and principles of treatment and prevention. World Health Organization, that is WHO, defines health a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. So there are three dimensions of health, that is physical, mental, and social. Physical health means functioning of the body. Biologically, every cell and every organ is functioning well. Mental health means the ability to respond to many varied experiences of life. It's a state of balance between the individual and the surrounding world. Social well-being implies the harmony and integration between each individual and other members of the society. So overall, a state of physical, mental, and social well-being will be called health. Good health is essential for proper living. Good health is not only freedom from a disease but also the freedom from tension and anxiety. There are different conditions which are necessary for good health. The very first is healthy nutritional diet. All human beings need carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals with lot of water and roughage to maintain its health. So, a diet which contains all the necessary nutrients in right proportion is called balanced diet. So, for a healthy life, a person should always take a healthy, nutritious or balanced diet. Second is the personal and community hygiene. For attaining good health, personal hygiene and domestic hygiene are essential. The environment in which a person is living should be unpolluted and safe. Next is good economic condition. We can buy good healthy food or live in a good society or surroundings just if we have a good financial condition. Then good public services. It is the responsibility of the government to provide health care to all the people in equal measures. Clean drinking water, cleanliness of drains, streets, etc. So, good public services is one of the major factors that affects the individual's health. Then, social harmony. Social harmony means a person is happy. He or she is healthy. So, in a society, we should not mistreat each other and should spread happiness to make ourselves as well as everybody happy and healthy. These are a few conditions that are necessary for maintaining good health. How do we know that there is something wrong with our body? हमें कैसे पता चलता है कि we are suffering from a disease? So when a person is affected by a disease, either the normal functioning or the appearance of one or more system of the body changes. These changes give rise to signs or symptoms of a disease. But all the symptoms of a disease always do not indicate the presence of a major disease. Like a headache cannot be called as a meningitis or brain fever, or a simply cough cannot be regarded as a tuberculosis, right? So what does a physician do? A physician makes certain tests, maybe blood test, urine test, sputum test, or the x-rays or ultrasound, etc. to confirm for disease. That means signs of a disease are particular for a particular disease, whereas the symptoms may be common for many diseases. So a disease can never be declared on the basis of symptoms only. They are the signs for a particular disease which indicate the presence of a particular disease. Disease causing microbes enter the body by different means and goes to different organs and tissues. We have already discussed about different modes of transmission. So there are different ways by which the disease causing organism enters our body. like microbes which enter through nose, right? Or we can say the microbes which spread through air or droplet infections, they are likely to go to the lungs. Okay, for example, the bacteria which cause tuberculosis. Similarly, the microbes which entered through the mouth or by eating contaminated food and water are likely to stay in the gut. For example, the bacteria which cause typhoid, or liver like bacteria which causes jaundice. This is not always necessary that the microbes will only affect the parts through which it enters. Okay, like the virus which cause AIDS that enters the body through sexual organs. It spreads through the lymph to all parts of the body and damages the immune system. Similarly, the virus which causes Japanese encephalitis, virus which affecting the brain, but it is entering the body through the mosquito bite and goes and infect the brain. Why it is important that we think of these categories of infectious agents means why should we know the cause of disease? Okay, which organism is causing which disease? It is very important because the category of the microbe will decide what kind of treatment will be given, because the members of each group have some or more biological characteristic in common. Like all viruses, they live inside the host cell, whereas bacteria very rarely do. The virus, bacteria and fungi, they multiply very quickly, while the worms, they multiply very slowly in comparison. This means that many important life processes are similar in the bacteria group but are not shared with the virus. Means some characteristics of bacteria are so different from the virus that as a result, the drug that is able to kill one kind of bacteria will be effective in killing of other bacteria as well, but it will not affect against a microbe like virus because it belongs to a different group. For example, bacteria have a very common process of making cell wall. Whenever some bacteria enter the human body, it makes a protective cell wall around itself. Okay. So, the antibiotic penicillin blocked this specific process of making cell wall in bacteria and kill them. Okay, so that means the antibiotics work against microorganisms by blocking one or more biochemical life process of them. And human cells do not make a cell wall anyways, so that penicillin cannot have effect on our body. Penicillin will have the effect on the bacteria only because process of making cell wall is present in bacteria only. So the antibiotic work against many species of bacteria rather than simply working against one. But the virus do not have their own biochemical processes. उनकी अपनी लाइफ का कोई प्रोसेस ही नहीं है. Okay, that is the simple reason why antibiotic do not work against viral infection. So it is very difficult to make antibiotic against virus. Okay, suppose we have a common cold. So common cold is a viral disease. So taking antibiotic does not reduce the severity of the duration of the disease. However, if we also get a bacterial infection along with the viral cold, so taking antibiotic will only take care of the bacterial infection. It is not working against the common cold. Whenever we are suffering from one or more disease, we need to seek the physician or the doctor. So how he treats the disease? There are two principles to treat a disease. The very first is to reduce the effect of the disease or to treat the symptoms, because any infection or a disease which lead to some or more symptoms like fever, pain, loose motion, etc. So some medicines can take care of all these symptoms. And the second is to kill the microbes, because if the symptoms are treated but the microbe is still present in the body, then it will again make us ill. So the second is to kill the microbes, and the microbes can be killed by using suitable drugs. We call them as antibiotics. antibiotics. Antibiotics are the chemicals which are produced by some of the bacteria or fungi and used to kill some harmful disease causing microorganisms. Okay. It is said that prevention is always better than cure. Now, why it is so? Because of the one reason that when a person is suffering from a disease, some of its body part or organ gets affected, right? Secondly, he is bedridden for few days, so its day-to-day activity or the work which he is performing regularly get affected. And thirdly, he becomes a source of infection for the other people as well. Okay? He may be passing some of the germs from its body to them also. And lastly, some of the diseases like AIDS, okay, they do not have cure at all. So these type of diseases may ultimately lead to the death of the sufferer, right? So therefore, it's always better to prevent disease. So there are two ways of preventing infectious diseases. One is known as the general ways and other will be the specific ways. By general ways, we just need to take care of the various factors that are causing those diseases, like nutritional diet, public hygiene, okay, like waterborne disease can be prevented by providing safe drinking water. Airborne diseases can be prevented by maintaining hygiene, covering mouth and nose while sneezing and coughing. And vector-borne diseases can be prevented by providing clean environment. So these are some of the general ways which are taking care of the factors necessary for good health. Then we have the specific way of prevention that is known as immunization. Means we are increasing the immunity of the body by taking vaccines. Vaccines are the dead or weakened form of germs which are introduced in the body and they stimulate the production of special proteins called antibodies in our body to fight disease causing organism. Okay, there are few diseases for which vaccines are available like tetanus, diphtheria, whooping cough, measles, polio, etc. Our body has an immune system which continue to fight against microbial infection. Okay, when this system first sees an infectious microbe, it kills the microbe by producing some special proteins and remembers it also, right? So the principle of immunization is to fool the immune system by introducing something that mimics the disease causing organism, so that in future if the live germs enter the body responds actively and kill that disease causing organism. So children are regularly provided vaccination against many kind of diseases.